visitors.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean it's way down. You know, it's almost South America. So
that surprises me.
Yeah.
It's just based on.
Well,
the weather and.
Yeah, but so that's the thing. It's a tourism thing.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot of people, right? For a lot of people, it's a tourism thing. So, but yeah, I mean, in the old days, you know, I brought Sifu Dan to Miami for summer seminars for 17 years, from '89 to 2006. Yeah, every June, early June, he would be here, and fortunately at that time, Jeet Kune Do Kali was enough of a driver in and of itself that your seminar would be well supported with minimal out-of-towners.
No, yeah.
You see?
MMA, BJJ.
Yeah, right. Because, but you know, today, if you put a Jeet Kune Do seminar in Atlanta, for example, so Sifu Francis has done an Atlanta seminar for, I think the first time I went to Atlanta for this, what we call the Southeast Conference at the time, was 1991. So we're in 2020 now. So that's, how much is that, 29 years? Yeah. I think he's been running that annual seminar.
And Atlanta's just kind of where you can draw from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the first time I went there, you know, I was looking at the license tags in the car park, and there were people from all over.
I believe it. Yeah.
From all over. So that's a good location for a seminar, regardless of what it is that you're teaching. But when you're in South Florida,
that makes it tough.
Yeah, it's like a 9-hour thing from tip to tip.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a little bit different.
I can see that.
Yeah, but again, it is what it is. So, but we did it for 17 years. Loved every minute of it. Having him here was again a major part of my evolution as a martial artist. Because, you know, I never lived in California, so that was something that came about in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, the seminar industry.
For people who weren't living near in that geographic area.
Yeah, you know, so that now somebody like Dan Inosanto has students. You could say on every continent.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anybody has a rep. Like in most countries, it's got to be him.
It's him. Now within the JKD clan, the Inosanto clan, and its associated disciplines, Ajahn Chai in our Thai boxing mentor.
He must.
He's got the same thing.
I forgot about him.
You know, he's got the same thing, and he will. He's the first person that will tell you, if it hadn't been for Dan Inosanto.
No, I've heard that.
Right. If it hadn't been for Dan Inosanto, he doesn't think that people would know him as well as they do now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did hear that. But when Dan brought him in, that kind of just.
And that's, you know, again, that's one of the glorious things about being part of the Inosanto clan. I mean, you know, like we talked about the ongoing discussions on Facebook and what have you. But the thing is that, you know, you can have your private disagreements with Dan Inosanto. You can have your private disagreements with anybody.
Sure.
There's no need to make it public.
No, I know, and I wish people would just use more discretion and just more tact.
Yeah, there's no need to, but social media technology has given everybody a voice,
a platform.
Yes,
whether they should have it or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if they have it, so I try to, I mean, it is as simple as this. The person sitting in front of you today, January 31st, 2020, I would not be here if it wasn't for Dan Inosanto.
No.
It is as simple as that. That doesn't mean he's perfect. That doesn't mean I think he's God. That doesn't mean I worship the ground upon which he walks. But the fact of the matter is, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So...
No, it's not. I tell you also, Burden.
Yeah.
Burden gives, if you were to ask, okay, give me that one person.
I'm
gonna tell you right now.
I can't handle that Burden Richardson guy. He's too good.
What are we gonna do with him?
He's too.
What do you think we should do? Celine watches later. What do you think?
No, I mean, did you see the thing I put? I mean, I couldn't even go to sleep last night when you left us.
Oh, and matter of
right?
fact, I absolutely thank you. That was very, very gracious and kind of you. Thank you.
Oh yeah. I mean, because it's important to me that people see. So Dan Insano is Bert Richardson's instructor. He's also my instructor, right? But within our JKD clan, we learn from each other.
Sure.
It's not just, oh, well, you're an instructor in Asano just like me, so you and I are the same.
Yeah.
What could I possibly... That's so stupid.
No.
That's so stupid, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to skill
much
level...
for community.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
When it comes to skill level... I mean, I think Bert started with Asano in 82. I'm not sure. I think he started in 82.
What he told me, and you very well could be right, and again, I don't know if I have the exact years correctly, but he started like senior year, I believe, in the summer, and then went off to school. So it was kind of like summers there for a while he was in school.
Okay.
If I'm correct.
Right. So let's say I am, and it was 82. That means he's senior to me by a year, right? So I'm not supposed to think much of that. Well, there's only a year difference between. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right? We learn, and we get that from Asano. Learn from everybody.
Yeah.
Even if, right? That's why it's said you can learn from a senior, an older brother. You can learn from a junior, somebody junior to you. So what you learn is to give. You learn to recognize talent. You learn to give credit. You learn to be open-minded. You learn to be open-hearted. All of these things.
Just
right?
think if everybody, like, how much better community we have.
Right. All of these things, okay? All of these things come to a very, very great extent from Kali. Open-mindedness and open-heartedness from Kali.
I love that.
Because you're dealing with the thing that can inflict maximum damage.
Right. So if you are not humble, or you have no sense of humility,
right? You see?
Yeah.
That's the
agreed.
thing, right? When you have, when you start learning Filipino martial art, you are delving into the acquisition of great power, because it can mess you up real quick, and
Based
even
on consequences.
yes, and even in the hands of an unskilled person, you put an edged weapon in somebody's hands, even if they don't know what they're doing, they can inflict maximum damage as well.
Yeah.
So that's something that you have to guard it jealously. You know, for sure,
Absolutely. One of the I have some questions for you, and again, thank you so much.
Right.
It's just this has been. I just wanted to say, anybody that is interested in training, if you come to Miami, I highly, highly recommend Sifu Dwight. Not just him, but his students also. There was just no ego, very open students. They were all very kind and gracious. Like I didn't feel like I was an outsider. Like they were all just very welcoming, kind.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, really.
That's because I would whack the stuffing out of them if they did it.
But I mean, that to me, that really says a lot. Obviously, what you're giving and instilling in them.
It's another thing. So we have a rule. So like if you're here next Tuesday and we go to Sushiko, Nick Faruqi saw it when he came down. If we go to Sushiko next Tuesday with you, you will see it in action. When we sit at the table, we have one conversation at a time.
So everybody gives the opportunity.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes, everybody. And the reason why is because I explained it to them. Here in Miami, it's just us. You see? Our little group that meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's just us.
Which is amazing.
So what's important to me is that but now we are quite aware that we are the Miami group of a larger martial art family, for sure. But here in Miami, it's just us.
Yeah.
So when we go out socially, we don't behave like normal people, where these two are having a conversation over there and these two or whatever, because that's not really sharing.
I like that. This way, everybody can get an opportunity to hear what the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I might hear something. You might tell a story, or you might have a take on a situation and I'm like, really? But I would never have known that. if we were behaving like normal people,
Right.
and people were cross-talking and
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
this and
two over
whatever,
here
whatever.
and three over there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. You know, so it's just me being a control freak, but
No, but I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I mean, just the gratitude and just to you, just I felt incredibly welcome. So thank you for
good.
that.
I'm glad to hear.
Again, I got some questions. What I found, just watching you teach, what I really found interesting and all that was like how, I could say amazed, but I can make it bigger, right? Is it okay?
Nah, man, look at the size of this already. There's no way. It can't happen. I have the biggest hat.
But hey, Jalindo, thank you, buddy. Mike, thank you. What I like, how you were able to regardless of what you were showing or demonstrating, how you could take a piece from a system. So in other words, the example I'm going to use is I saw you were doing the 3 count sombrado, and how how you preferred it,
Right.
and all that, but how you went to a Vilbra low, and then subsequent to that, you also went to a corte cabal from Dos Paris. So I guess, which I was sitting on the sidelines, I'm like, you know what? This guy's pretty good. So I guess my question is did that come over time where you got to a comfort level to kind of extract different pieces and show in a drill?
Okay, so whatever it is that you call that, I don't know. I don't know it by that name.
No, okay, well, abanico, whatever.
Right.
But
You see. So I don't know it by that name. But
I hope I'm correct.
But
you
it's
get a Dos Paris guy.
but it's emotion. But it's emotion that you recognize.
I did, correct.
Okay, so that is the thing that's important to us. And again, here's a Jeet Kune Do connection. What is Bruce Lee famous for saying? Unless human beings have a different anatomical structure, there's only so many ways that you can move.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what style it is. You put a stick in my hand, I put a stick in your hand, there's only so many ways that you can move. And similarly for me, because we have the same anatomical structure.
Sure.
Right? So it doesn't matter. So again, a Jeet Kune Do connection. Bruce Lee says in that scene in Way of the Dragon, doesn't matter where it comes from, if it can help you to defend yourself in a fight, you should use it. You should learn it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay? So if you learn it in Dos Paris, you learn it in Dos Paris. If you learn it in Villabril, you learn it in Villabril. If you learn it in Petite Tertia, you learn it. Right? Here's Inasano. Let me see if I can pull this off. Right? I probably learned this in very, very early. The 7 sources of Inasano's long and short. You ever heard of this?
I think it would have been, from you.
Okay, so the 7 sources of Inasano long and short. So, Lacoste,
Yeah.
Cabalist Serrata,
Yeah.
Villabril Largusa,
Yeah.
Petite Tertia,
Yeah.
Illustrissimo, Dos Paris, right? X Factor.
I remember, yeah.
Okay,
I remember being there.
because there was a, sorry, there was like as he said, a bunch of old guys that didn't want their names put out.
So they follow the X
Right.
Factor. Okay.
So I would say I asked him once about this. I think we can bring that up to 8 now with Edgar Solite. Right? Yeah, Lameko. You see, but so very, very early on, from Inasano, you learn that there's multiple sources for this thing, but it's not multiple sources kept separately. They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, no. I remember you mentioned this before. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They're not mutually exclusive. So within Filipino martial arts, we learn that stuff should not be mutually exclusive. Now you take that one step further.
Mm-hmm.
Martial art is martial art. There are other martial arts out there that have a weapons approach. Is there something that you could garner from that? Then you go from weapons to weapons, you go weapons to empty hands. Is there something in an empty-handed system that could help our weaponry or vice versa? When you train Kali the way we train it, you discover that there is.
Interesting.
You see, you discover that there is. But if I take the stick or the dagger
Yeah.
and I go inward, backhand,
Correct.
right? With this one hand. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, when you punch at me and I hit high, right? And then I hit low and I hit high, my hand is doing something very similar.
To the right. Okay.
So the speed and the coordination that I learn with the knife, with the stick, there are methods for me to apply that with the empty hand. So now if I go train in JKD with somebody who emphasizes the lead hand,
Correct.
and he hits 1, 2, 3, right? Whether he puts the trapping hand in or whatever, if he's showing how to hit 3 times on different levels and different angles with that one hand, I don't look at it and go, what?
Right.
What?
You have familiarity.
I look at it and I go, I could look at it from a Kali standpoint.
Perspective. I got you.
I don't have to, but in all honesty, the Kali would help me
Sure.
to understand
Yeah,
it because
okay.
it's motion,
Yeah, I like that.
right?
They're right. You're like, you're not going to be like just sitting there like.
Yes. See,
my
because
God,
here's
what do you-
exactly because here's what there is. There's translation of motion and there's interpretation of motion. So if it's forehand, it's not forehand, Bert Richardson. It's inward. That's what we'll do with it.
We're gonna have to.
That's what we'll do. Forehand. It's not tennis. Okay, somebody needs to set him straight. Right? So if I go inward,
Yeah.
low backhand, high backhand, that doesn't mean that when I punch, I have to go inward, low backhand, high
Right.
backhand with the hammer fist.
Correct.
No, I can hit here, and come back and hit here.
Understood. Yeah.
You see? Because I'm not translating word for word. I am interpreting
Right.
the language.
I do. No. Okay. I like that.
You see?
That's a
And-
neat way to look at perspective.
Yeah, that's a difference because and that's what happened. So like when we were training just now, the thing about what's this thing called? Is it Fraile? Is it Cabecedario? What the heck is it?
Yeah,
Right? And we couldn't remember.
what is it?
Right? But then when memory returned, I showed you how Fraile refers to the range, but it refers to a motion also.
Right. Which that was new to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see? So
Must say.
now, where did I learn that? I learned that from Cas Magda. You see?
Did
Okay.
he happen to mention where? Not that it's.
It might be a Villabril Largusa thing because Cas is the source of my my numerata, and in numerata we use the Fraile motion.
Okay, because I'm gonna.
Right.
We're gonna actually. He's gonna come into play.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if I'm talking Filipino Kali, it's highly unlikely that I could
That
get.
he
I
would-
could do the conversation without bringing
Without
up
bringing him
Casmac.
up?
Yeah. Very, very unlikely.
You've mentioned this to me before, and I just want so the viewers can maybe hear this and maybe actually like it and maybe be able to incorporate it in their training, just a concept alone. But I wanted to see if you can expand on this.
Okay.
Prearranged and free range.
Prearranged and free arranged. Yes.
Okay. Can you maybe just for the viewers that maybe they could.
Okay. All right. So you take that and let's say we are going to do. Okay. We take that and we blend that with the idea of perform the technique, add the counter, add the recounter. Let's just simplify it like that.
Okay.
Okay? So, here's what we do. I hit you, and you know that I'm going to hit you angle 1. So that's prearranged,
Okay. Yes.
right? You're going to inside deflect and hit me back. We know that that's going to happen. So that is also prearranged.
Okay.
What we don't know, however, is when you hit me back, what you're going to hit me back with.
That's where the
That's
transitions.
free arrange.
Okay.
You see? But I have the luxury of knowing that when I go like this, you're going to go like this. But the luxury ends right there.
where you would have come back.
Yes.
How can people just like, because I like this, and I found this, and this is why I wanted to ask you about it. What would be the easiest way, and it could be the very well the example you just gave, that maybe they could incorporate that in their current maybe classroom
Okay,
setting?
watch this. That, again, just for convenience, let's use 3 count sombrata,
Okay.
right? So, 3 count sombrata, I hit inward, you roof block, you hit inward, I inside deflect, I hit you angle 4, you drop deflect, That's 3 count. Now we reverse it.
Okay.
Right? So that's prearranged, prearranged, prearranged.
Correct.
That is also high, high, middle.
Yes. Okay.
If I'm teaching 3 count sombrata, I start with that. And we break it down so that people this is another thing that Inosano said. If you only have one way to teach something, he didn't say you suck. I would say you suck, right? Because
would that be nice?
Because if you only have one way to teach something, then everybody has to get it your way.
Yeah. Okay.
But what if they don't? What if they're like me and they're not, that smart, right? So you have to have more than one way. So here's what we do. And again, for me, a lot of it is the mental exercise, keeping the brain cells active, doing what, is it Paul McCarthy, cognitive colleague?
Yeah, there was a couple of that
so
popped up on
I
Facebook.
have not yet met him. We have never spoken.
It was interesting though.
Right? I've not met him. We've not spoken, but I think I understand a little bit where he's going with this. So dig this, right? So 3 count sombrata. Look at how I just explained it. I hit inward, you hit inward, I hit backhand. That's one way of looking at it. So we're looking at it in terms of what we call at Unified Martial Art the directions in which we're going. Inward, inward, backhand.
Okay.
You see? Now, the other way is angle 1, angle 1, angle 4.
Yeah.
You see? So now we've given it another name. The other way is, well, what are the defenses? It's high wing, inside deflect, drop deflect. So we have 3 ways of looking at it.
As far as the defense.
Right? Then it's high line, middle line. That's the 4th way of looking at it. You see? So now you have 4 ways of describing the action. So some people will latch onto it because they are whatever type of learning.
Yeah, maybe somebody who's like numerically, they might get that, but somebody who's more like, whether it's number association or direction association. No,
yes.
No, I think that's
right?
fantastic.
So we do that. So now we go, okay, well, let's start to play. Oh, here's the other one. It's you hit angle 1, I high wing block.
Yeah.
I hit angle 1, you inside block.
Yeah.
You hit angle 4, I drop deflect. So that is block, block, block.
And you.
So that's the 5th way.
Okay. Right. Okay.
You see, that's the 5th way of looking at this one drill. So then we decide, well, let's change an element. Now, if you go back to the elements, if you go back to 3 count, let's say double stick, you learn 3 count double stick. You learn what? High, 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 high.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, what about high, high, middle, high, high, middle?
Yeah.
Now, have you come across high, high, middle before? Yes, in 3 count sombrata.
There you go.
Okay. So now, if you know that when it comes to double stick, there are 8 basics.
You want? I think it was one. It might have been Thursday, last night or Tuesday night. You definitely.
Oh yes, I made them do.
And
I
somebody
made them
had
do
to come out.
I made them do the 8. What? Yeah, I think I made them do the 8
No, you
basics.
definitely
Right.
did,
Yeah. So high, 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 low, high, low, high, high, low, 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 high, low, high, high, low, high, low, or however. Right.
Yeah.
Those are the 8. Okay. You know what you do? To make life more interesting, put middle in there.
Yeah. Okay.
You see?
Exponentially, was that right?
Okay. Now 27.
Oh.
Not that I'm a nerd who has worked this out or anything, right? So
I had to think about that.
So instead of 8, instead of 8 times 8, the 64 is now 27 times 27.
Now we're starting to get like Bugs Bunny numbers.
That is, let's see, 4189 and 270 is 429.
Potential patterns.
Yes.
What about where you go left?
Then it is 858 if you start on the left hand. If you
So
do
if you
all of them.
incorporate left along the right, you can.
Yeah, if you start right and then finish left, right? But if you start left and repeat,
Right.
now it's if we did the math right, it's 858 patterns.
Good patterns.
That's standing. What if we squat?
And
What if we kneel?
And what if we
What
sit?
if we sit? What if we lie on our backs? Right? But we're still stationary.
That's
What if we do right foot forward,
left foot.
left foot forward, male advance, male retreat, female
Right,
advance, female
lateral.
retreat, right lateral, left lateral.
That would be like,
That's why you could be the your style could be double stick, and you never teach anything but double stick.
based on that
Yes.
communication.
You see, because that's just the coordination drills. We haven't even looked yet at you swing angle one and I double stick defend. We haven't looked at that yet. We just called out 800 and
That would have to
something
be,
coordination drills.
You would, I don't even know what number that would
Right.
exponentially go to.
Right, yeah. You see?
Wow.
Now, the thing is, in 30 something years, you think I've done them? No.
This guy.
Right?
I'll tell you that much.
Okay? But to get back to what we were talking about. So now we go high, high, high.
Yeah.
So now I go here, and when you hit back, instead of hitting back middle, you hit back high.
High.
Instead of hitting back high or middle, you hit back low.
Yeah, it's just
You see?
nuts.
You're right. And now we decide, okay, we'll go block, block, but when you hit mid, so let's go back to the basic. High, high, middle.
Yep.
I block, you block. When you hit the 4, I go Largamano.
You step back and go.
I don't block anymore.
You go
I go Largamano. Right?
Yeah, right. There's a
How
whole
about
other-
this? I block, you block. When you hit, I pass and hit.
So is that where you would like start getting to more the free? You're going from
Yes.
perfect.
You see?
I like that
So
way you-
so I know that we know that high and high are prearranged.
free range, but
We don't know if you're going to go high. We don't know if you're going to
pass
go
and hit. you're
middle.
gonna
We don't know if you're going to
Largamano,
go.
you're gonna
Yes, we don't know. You see? Now, in order to pull to make it challenging, let's say I don't know what you're going to do on the third motion, but
Okay.
whatever it is that you do, I have to do something specific against it.
So wherever I counter your number 4 with, or whatever I come back with, you have to.
Yes. You see?
So then the folks then
Right.
get
So yeah.
get creative.
So
and respond.
let's say I don't come back with a 4.
Okay.
Right? Let's say I do a reverse whatever.
Right.
So instead of hitting the backhand, I end up hitting inward. But you are supposed to do pass and hit. You see? That's the rule.
Right.
You must do
Regardless
pass
of what's
and
coming
hit.
at me,
Yes.
I have to.
Yes.
Ah,
That's
okay.
where now you're in the laboratory.
Yeah.
You see, and that's where you work out what works and what
Kinks
doesn't
and
work.
What you like. And
Yes.
What maybe your physique and
Yes.
what have you and yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you see, but if you think about it, we're not even sparring yet.
No.
You
No,
see,
you're
we're not
actually
even sparring yet. But what
experimenting.
we're doing is we're drilling realistically. See, because a lot of times, like we were talking about last night, people want to get to sparring the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, you just started.
Like you're using like the boxing analogy.
Yeah,
You go to a boxing gym.
right.
You know, you haven't even done this.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't know, you know,
Yeah.
but you know that you're there to learn how to fight,
Yeah.
right? And imagine if I'm the boxing coach that says, okay, you're here to learn to fight, so let's fight.
Yeah, and then you go in there
Right.
and the first 10
So
seconds.
yeah, because I mean, now yes, can you learn from getting beat up all the time? Yes,
Yeah.
you can, right? But it might not be the most constructive way to
Or-
learn.
Yeah, and with eventual CTE setting in.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, but all of that, right? I think that what happened to me is that the synapses in my brain, the way they are organized, Kali turned them on.
You know, I can relate to that because not the piggyback or copycat. I mean, obviously, it's no secret. I have an affinity for it, and it has to be due to something.
Yeah.
Like something up here had to
Oh, for sure.
manifest, and
Yeah,
it
for
kind
sure.
of ignited. Yeah.
I think that there is just something about the art and the way that Inasano taught it to me and that sounds like he taught it to me only, right? Just the way Inosano teaches it, that I just caught on.
No.
I
It
just caught on.
shows.
Right.
It
I mean,
shows.
so so for me to go from if he shows high low high, and low low low, right, and those are the three things that he shows. Even if Paul Vunak had not shown me the 8 basic variations,
Okay.
I probably would have come up with them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at some point.
Because you already recognize.
Because my brain whatever, and then I trained with Edgar Sulite once at a seminar in Sarasota, if I remember correctly, but then I trained in his private lesson at the Inosano Academy a few times. I think it was on Thursday mornings or what have you. Right?
I didn't know. So was he making a regular presence there?
Yeah, he was there every Thursday. I think
And
Larry Hartzell trained with him. Inosano trained with him.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, you know, Ron Balicki is the top.
He's part of that
He's the
group.
top, right? Yeah, right. So I was never like in the backyard with Mark Denny and
Yeah, I know, right,
whoever,
but
but I was at the Inosano Academy.
So he would make. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Like
Yeah.
I knew he went there to train Guru Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that others also.
Yeah, no. Oh, you mean other people or other private lessons? The only two private lessons I ever saw was Inosano and Hartzell.
Okay. So he basically there for them. Others, if they were around, maybe like Larry and Guru Dan would say, "Hey, you want to kind of jump in?" Was it more kind of like that?
I don't know about others. I just know about me.
Okay, but
I
you're
got-
kind of saying on the sidelines.
I got put in.
Okay.
I
alright.
got put into Inosano's private lesson with Yuri Nakamura. All right. I got pulled in a little bit to Cass Magda's private lesson with Stefan Plank.
That must have been really awful. Huh? Yeah. What'd you do?
I know, it's terrible, right?
Right.
It was such a bad existence, a terrible way to live.
I just want to see if Jolendo's got it. Hold on, Jolendo, buddy. I just want to see. Isolated and progressive training methods. Yep, and increase cognitive. Okay, thank you for commenting. Jolendo always said, yeah, good guy. And just to get back before I get next question, what would you think? Like, so how many times did you jump in when Edgar was there?
I don't know.
Like a couple?
Yeah, a couple, 3.
What was your take?
Well, okay. So I'll tell you because I didn't the day that it hit me about the middle thing, right? Because like I was saying, here are the 3 basics that you learn: Heaven 6, Heaven and Earth 6,
Yeah.
Earth 6.
Yeah.
I remember at the seminar in Sarasota was the first time that I saw somebody do this. Sulite went diagonal, horizontal. Oh, that's the 6th way that you could remember 3 Camp Sambrata. I hit diagonal, you hit diagonal, I hit, yes.
You can
Right, so we're up to 6 ways now?
Yeah,
You
numerically.
see, for one thing. 6 ways for 6 ways for me to express it to the student, 6 ways for the students to try to remember
Potentially
it.
based on
Yes.
how they like to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember Sulita going diagonal, horizontal, diagonal, or diagonal, horizontal, vertical. I was like, oh.
Drop. I could definitely.
Right?
Drop straight. Yeah.
Yeah. You see? So look at that.
So.
Look at that.
So besides that, and you getting that, like,
Yeah.
what else? Were you just?
Also, you know his Laban Laro? Do you know that series?
I'm not yet, but
Okay.
like I know Rich Tucci and him.
Yeah.
and
So
Dylan,
right.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw that, the brain's like, okay, go here, change that. Go here, change that, add this. And years before I saw that, I had come up with the saying that Kali is the art of adding 1. So here's what I mean. I hit you, you block, check, and hit.
Right.
Now we add 1. I hit you, you block, check. When you hit, I stop you.
Okay.
Right? Now we add 1. You block checking it. I stop you. Right.
Right.
You go again. Right. You see? Or I stop you. I go.
Yep,
You
I
get what
got
I'm saying?
you. No, I get it.
The art of adding one, which is otherwise expressed as learn the technique, practice the technique, add the counter, add the recounter.
Right.
Right? Now, because the way my brain works, I cannot leave well enough alone. I have revised that. Learn the technique, practice the technique, put it into the basic flow, add the counter, add the recounter. Okay? Put it into the intermediate flow, add the counter, add the recounter. Put it into the advanced flow, add the counter, add the recounter. Because see, here's the thing. You say put it into the flow. So people go, so the flow drill, Sombrata. And then you see them online and their Sombrata sucks. Because they're not paying attention to all of the important things. And then they end up, and then there's valid criticism of what people see.
What do you see lacking? Like you intent,
so for example,
intent?
Exactly, right?
Okay.
Which is why on Bert's knife defense, right? If you go to section 2 or disc number 2, he goes, if you didn't watch disc number 1 where we talked about mentality and whatever, go back and watch that. Yeah. If you're trying to fast forward to the technique section, right? Because it's true. So you see a lot of people out there giving both Jeet Kune Do and Kali a bad name because what they're doing is not reminiscent of high quality. So you see people doing Sombrata, and they do the Sombrata here between the two of us. Click, 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 click. Oh, look how fast we are. Click,
right,
click, 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 click. Right? Now, when will that hit you?
Never.
Never.
Right.
So slow it down, and land what we call at Unified Martial Art, in range and on target.
Right. Well, you're actually...
Yes.
Right. Yeah, no,
You see? Because otherwise, I'm teaching you how to react to something that can't hit you.
No, right.
Well, that
so
doesn't
so
make any
you're
sense.
right. So they're responding to
Yes.
something. No,
Now, the reason why
yeah.
that in range and on target thing snuck into my Kali is because of Jeet Kune Do.
Right.
Because Jeet Kune Do is the driving force that says whatever it is that you do must be practical, functional, and realistic. So I can't be, look.
Like you're not going to do your vertical.
Right?
It's a huge, I tell you though,
It doesn't make sense.
Like in other words, like, I have my opinion on the stick world and all that, because I totally gravitate towards knife. I mean, I joystick, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But you see it in knife, like, that some of the stuff they think they're going to pull off. But when you look at the feed, it's
right.
So
Yes.
from common denominator.
Yes.
It's like it's all wrong, just like from like.
Yeah.
Well,
that is a big thing, and again, shout out to Burton Richardson. One of the most important things that he teaches is, and Matt Thornton, I heard Matt Thornton say too, watch the feeder. You see, but like we were talking about last night, I'm a career martial artist. Most of my students have been what I would call recreational martial artists.
Yeah.
So not professional fighters or what have you, right? But people who need self-defense skill and what have you, right? I'm also so old that I'm steeped in the traditional approach.
Gotcha.
But having been steeped in the traditional approach, I was very appreciative of Bruce Lee's radical approach to put aside the traditional stuff that is not functional.
And be open.
You see?
To...
Yes. So I am constantly looking at, so let's say like the knife tap and drill.
Correct.
Okay, we know that nobody attacks like that, right? But I, for one, would not throw it out completely and go, well, nobody fights like that. No, I'm going to find the aspects of the knife tap and drill
Mix with hands.
that mix right in with Burton Richardson's knife defense, practical, functional, realistic approach.
Makes your hands quick.
Yes.
It benefits your hands.
You see?
And here's the thing, I don't throw it out, because if you know you have to get to that, well, don't you think we're doing this going to make your hands quicker to get to that?
Yes.
So no,
Right.
You
see, so if you look at what he does, he go, the sewing machine, right? So it's this thing. Okay, so that's part of the knife tap and drill, because I go here to here.
Yeah. Over. Yeah.
You see, I go here to here.
Yep.
Right. And so in the old days, there was an emphasis put on when your hand touches that first one.
Yeah.
He goes for the cut.
To check you.
So it was realistic.
Yeah. No.
See?
I remember.
Now maybe with the passage of time, stuff got fancier. But if you think about it,
Lost in translation.
Right? Somebody goes, "Oh, that doesn't work." That's not true. That's not true, because I guarantee you that somewhere in 1940, there was somebody that got attacked, and he went like this, and he punched the guy, and he successfully defended himself.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, right. Or
So-
got put in the form,
Yes.
and kind of through the forms,
Right.
it got lost. But here, like you swing out like that, you're trying to tell me if I throw it out like that, that doesn't work? I mean, come on. I just think it got like through the forms and all that.
You see, so you like what we were doing last night. That whole so I had Glenn try to hit me 2 times.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to illustrate the idea that you don't go like that and leave it out there. You see, so if that's the thing that you hone in on, this is an unrealistic feed. People have to be moving and whatever. Fine, that's what you do. There's nothing that says. That's why there's a Basidario stage 1, a Basidario stage 2, a Basidario stage 3, all the way up to like stage 12, right? So it means that I go here and I hit you here.
Right, based on intent. Right.
You see? So that's the idea of not locking it out. So maybe you go for the first one, right, and then boom, I go over here.
Right.
You see? That is akin to what Bert is doing in the knife defense. I've just taken the principle behind what he's doing and applied it to my traditional method. I feed you angle 1, I feed you angle 2. But we don't go, and then you dissect. You dissect the chords.
No, you don't.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Right?
No, you don't.
You see?
Yeah.
And then again, because of my mental affliction, it's like we go, okay, so we have to name it. So it's half response, full response.
Yeah.
Whatever. You get what I'm saying?
No, I do.
And now we can make it prearranged. Or we can go back to the blend of what's prearranged and what's free
And
arranged.
will eventually lead to free range.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got it.
You see? That's the thing. And then you take all of that you get from Kali and you put it into the empty hands.
Which is where I want to get to next.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I just want to get a quick time check if that's okay. How are we doing? Okay. Because I know the barrier. Okay, we're good. We got 2 more minutes.
All right, cool.
All right. Another thing I do, because I want to give credit, to your guy, because I know you hold him in high esteem. I know your influences. We touched on all that, but just for the viewers, I know you mentioned Burton, you mentioned Cass. Is it possible that you and mention them can kind of give like maybe specifically what they gave you, whether it was a concept, a technique, a methodology?
Burton Richardson, what Burton Richardson brought out in me was envy.
Envy, man. When he had the long hair?
No, look, here's the thing. All of them brought out envy in me, right?
But it made you want to be better.
Yes.
That's a driving force.
So, very first, I'm fairly sure, right? I'm probably wrong, but I'm fairly sure. The first thing I saw Inosano and Cas Magda do on Monday, July 25th, 1983 was double stick. And I was like, I got to learn that.
And that was one time or another, both of them.
Yes. Right? That was my first day at a camp. Well, not my first day, but that was the first lesson day of a camp. And Cass was his assistant at the time. And the 2 of them were up there, and I saw double stick, and I was like, that's it.
And you were hooked.
Yep, right? So as time went by, when I would go out to LA, I would spend time with Sifu Dan. I'd spend time with Cass. I didn't spend a lot of private time with Paul, but Neil Collifan, I did do a private lesson with Paul, and I would see Paul from time to time. I saw Paul on seminar more. Burton Richardson, I'd see him at the IMB, at the Inisano Academy. I brought him to Miami. I brought him to Miami a few times as well. And then there are other people that you may have been, like Ted Lukai, right? I trained with him only once or twice, because I think he used to be at the Inisano Academy more on the weekends than during the week.
He's somebody I'm so intrigued by. Not to cut you off, but I'm having Mark Stewart on down the road specifically.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear about.
Well, see, so unfortunately, it's no longer available. But Ted Lukai did a three tape series on Kali JKD. Phenomenal.
Was it this? Not the stick boxing.
No,
this is different.
This is
You're
before,
talking about something different.
This is before that time. And this is why I want to get David Hines. He was the director of that video series. That's why I'm trying to get him. Well, maybe not, but that's why I'm trying to get him on the Jeet Kune Do dialogues, because he's got stories for sure.
Some good memories.
But so I had a couple classes with Ted Lukai, but my major experience of him was from that video series. So he's in there with Blaze Loom. He's in there with Dustin Nguyen, Jeff Amata, Barry Schreier, Dave Hines. I'm probably missing somebody, right? But yeah. So again, because I was an international student, I was a long distance student.
Right.
You know, every source.
You were just
every source. So if it was magazine, if it was VHS, if it was being at a seminar, if it was being at the Inisano Academy, it's like you were trying to soak it all up.
I know, like I'm trying to do now with everybody.
Yeah, you soak it all up.
Tom Sodas.
Right, and then when you become an instructor in your own right, now it's even more important.
Yeah, you know what it is with me is like, I just worry about God. I always like critique myself and question myself. Am I giving them the best? Am I, could I be doing this better? Is there a better way? You know what I mean? Always trying to hold myself.
But that's part of the growth.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah,
see, that's part of the growth, because anytime that you think that you have the perfect method,
you'd be rest assured. That hasn't entered my mind yet.
Anytime that you think you have the perfect method, it's like, no. Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
With the changing, just the evolution, like, you can never have the perfect method, because everything's are constantly changing.
Yeah.
So, unless you foresee what's coming down the pikeway, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you always have to be informing yourself about what other people are doing within your thing, but then what other people are doing outside of your thing.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Facebook. It's like I'm not. I go on there. I'm purely on there for martial arts. I want. I'm kind of nosy. I want to know what they're doing over there, and I admit it. You know what I mean? But like, just to kind of piggyback on what you just said, like, to know what's going on.
Yeah.
What's kind of the new thing.
But that's important, because again, if we use that analogy of well, not the analogy, but if we look at the karate guy that defended himself in the 1940s with traditional karate, okay, in 2020, he probably will not be attacked by somebody who was as unknowledgeable or unskilled as back in the 1940s. The technology is different.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to learn to grow with the times, and that's a Jeet Kune Do thing.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee said that Jeet Kune Do, he said to change with change is to change with state. Right? So anybody who thinks that Jeet Kune Do is fixed back in 1966 to 73, Bruce Lee passed away, so it's fixed in boxing, fencing, and Wing Chun, right? Here's the thing to think about. If Bruce Lee started in Wing Chun and evolved past the traditional classical Wing Chun into his modified Wing Chun into boxing, into fencing, what is to say that he would not have continued evolving into this, into that, into this, into that, into whatever, right? Okay. So when you go, no, it's this, and it's only this, and you can't mix this thing with it, and you can't, and you know, they're mutually exclusive, and whatever.
How can they say that? Project.
I understand it because what's their source? Here's what Bruce Lee said. Okay, I get it. He said it, but here's the thing, and if you say, well, Bruce Lee never talked about Kali with anybody else, so
doesn't mean he wouldn't have
exactly. Maybe he didn't talk about it with that guy.
Yeah.
You see, but maybe he talked about it with this other guy.
Yeah, strange, huh?
You see,
they just.
But to say, yeah, so that would be like, if you and I have never talked about Tibetan food, right? Does that mean that you have never talked about it with anybody else, or that I have never talked about it with anybody else?
Right.
It means we just haven't talked about it with each other.
Exactly.
And it doesn't mean that Tibetan food doesn't exist.
Yeah, no. And I got, just before we wrap up, one last thing. What do you find yourself, and again, it could be a technique, it could be a method, it could be a philosophy, methodology, concept. Is there something overall that you find yourself always kind of resorting, going back to?
In terms of,
it could be as a practitioner.
yeah, but see, that's very open ended. Like, what context? When you say like if I'm teaching, do I find myself going back to a particular?
Yes, there.
Okay, as an instructor.
Again, it could be.
Wow. I think. I don't know. I'm not a very good instructor, I guess. I think what I try to do as an instructor, if I have to pinpoint one thing, it is to get students to think.
That's a great answer.
Right? Get them to think about what they're doing. Never just. I know what it is. It's an Inasano thing. If you get the technique, you'll get one thing. If you get the principle behind the technique, you'll get it all. That's what it is. Now I'm a good instructor. That's what it is.
I gotta write this out. Wait. I gotta write this down. All right.
If you get the technique.
If you get the technique.
You get just one thing.
Technique, just one thing.
If you get the principle behind the technique.
Okay.
Then you get it all.
I like that. I really like that. If you get the principle, you get it all.
Yes. You see?
Wow. I really like that.
So if the technique is block, check, hit, right? But you don't get the principle behind the check.
Right.
Then whatever check it is that you were shown, you get that technique. But if you get the principle behind checking, you go, oh, the 5 energies of the check in hand.
Right, then it kind of opens like a flower.
Yeah.
I get you. We just do.
You see?
No, I do. Right? I like that.
That's what you get. Because now you're, well, what's the principle behind checking, right? That's when you discover that some people call it check, some people call it safety factor, right? You see? And just that in and of itself, you're like, okay, why is it safety? Oh, because when I do this, it stops him from whatever.
Him
right.
Countering. Yeah,
you see? Yeah. So then you go, okay, well, that's like trapping in Junfan or JKD or whatever. So if I block and check and then I hit, wait, that if in JKD it's like a simultaneous thing, is there a way for me to block with and then hit with the stick hand or whatever? What?
Of course.
Now,
because of
you
the
see?
principle,
right? And that's where a lot of people don't understand. You know, because they don't read. I can't believe that I did
where
this.
You got there,
right? But I actually packed these.
Oh. God.
Right? I actually packed these because I thought that
This
we
is
might end up
gold.
talking about them. Oh, and I brought this for you.
Oh my gosh.
That's
So,
that's me. That's me famous.
Exhibit A,
Yeah. Right. You see. So
Exhibit B.
what? Let me see if I. Let me
This
see if I
I've
can
been trying to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is. I need to get. And this is also namely.
Yeah.
Folks can see that.
So let me show you some. Let me show you something. Right. So we were talking about. I should have it in here.
Yes, sir, Gelando. Principles and concepts. Right on.
Right. But it's yes. Okay. So the hidden check. You see it?
Yeah.
Right. Pat and slide.
I do.
Right. The push and check. The
Yeah.
sustained push.
Yep.
Right. Descend and check.
Descending and the
Right.
descending.
Ascend and check. Retain and check.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right there. I gotta get
Yeah.
that book. Enough of like I've seen enough on eBay, man.
You see what I'm saying?
I just gotta
Right.
drop, I'm just gonna have to drop it.
Yeah. Now in here, and if I was a real nerd, I would know the exact pages, but I'm not.
If you were a real nerd.
If I was a real nerd, I
You
would
would
know.
know that.
Yes, right. But it's in this book that Inosanto talks about how Jeet Kune Do informed the Kali and vice versa. So it's either him or it might have been Bustillo who said it. I'm not sure, right? But that's the thing. People still want to, right? It's Richard Bustillo. He says both arts stress the lead hand and the lead foot. In Jeet Kune Do, the front hand takes precedence over the rear hand. Whether it's left or right, the front hand is the live hand, right? So think about that. If in JKD, the front hand takes precedence.
Yeah.
When I put a knife in this hand,
I don't think much
right?
of it-
When I put a stick in this hand, it's still taking precedence.
Sure.
So if this is the attacking hand and this is the defending hand, and if when I have the stick, right, this attacks, but then when you come at me, right, this rear hand comes into play. That's akin. It's not a literal translation, but it's an interpretation
Sure.
of what you're doing with the hands in JKD.
No, I
You see?
I'll get enough. Yeah.
So to me, that there's no way they're mutually exclusive.
No. Yeah, but yeah.
All right, there's absolutely no way.
Well, this was
Okay.
absolutely wonderful.
Ah.
I know it was kind of short notice because
Nah,
I sprung this on you when I
That's-
got down here. Hey, incidentally, how if we do an interview?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But
That's
I
fine.
totally,
That's yours.
Oh my God. Oh,
Right.
Oh, you're gifting. Oh,
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you
that's
so
fair.
much, guys. So this is wonderful. I know. I know there's comments and all that, and guys, just gifting. This is sensational. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
And again, it's been. Well, I'm gonna be there Tuesday night.
Okay.
But definitely, but
Yeah.
Up to now.
So make sure you get permission.
Oh my God.
Make sure you get permission for sushi after.
I'm gonna tell you,
afterwards.
look, I gotta eat.
Okay, but we won't do this to you. But I think our record. So we finish class at 8:30.
Okay.
We go over there like 8:45, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. I think our record for parting company, after they kicked us out at 11.
Oh, it's fine.
I think we have left the car park at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oof.
We won't do that to you.
No, but
right.
you know,
but
I'm planning.
that's-
I'm gonna have to Uber it.
Yeah, but we're ridiculous like that, and
No,
I blame
that's great.
Inosanto. That is a Jeet Kune Do tradition.
Yeah, all right.
The sticking around after class.
Yeah,
right,
I've heard
and
that.
talking.
Yeah, that's right.
With Chris Kent, with Cass Magda,
Those must
with
have been
Jeff
just
Imada,
terrible
with
conversations, huh?
Burt Richards. I mean, yeah. People just don't know. They're too young to know. They weren't around in
The
that
golden-
era. So they look at Inosanto today and they
golden
have
ages.
commentary about him. He's 83, right? You can't look at today. You gotta go, okay, when he was 30-something, you think when he was 30-something, please.
No, I mean, no, come on now. Yeah, that I mean, right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you for
All right.
watching. And again, we thank Sifu Dwight Woods with the cool shades for joining us and all that. All right. Well,
All right.
it was just absolutely wonderful.
Nice.
All right, people. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.